Hello and welcome back to part two of Geoff Talk, the very special Geoff Under the Spotlight. You've just seen Charlotte Jones give you a taste of how Geoff came about creating Top Model, and you got some cheeky behind the scenes info as well. I'm Rachel Ivy, and something that I want to know more about and share with you guys is a little bit more about the charity side. And this is something that Geoff is so modest about. So let's welcome back Geoff Cox. Geoff Cox, welcome to Geoff Talk. How's it going?
My pleasure. Great. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for having me on my own show.
So I'm going to dive straight in because what I want to know more about is the charity side of things. So could you give us a brief description of what the charity is called and what it does?
Okay, it's the Top Model Foundation for Sick Children and Children in Need. Give it a quick plug, the topmodelfoundation.org. And it supports directly children and families with children who have sickness or illness, maybe through cancer, leukemia, or any other illness, who are disadvantaged, who we can directly help. It may be with toys, goodie bags, or potentially sponsoring days out for groups of disadvantaged children, things like that. So it's actually directly supporting those that need it rather than it just going into one big charity pot.
Brilliant. So would you say that the way that you're showing people that are donating is through social media, or do you try and show them in real life, or give us a little bit of a brief description of the way you show where the donations go?
Well, we obviously make sure we photograph every opportunity and we promote that cause by us supporting them. We don't like to hand over checks. We like to actually physically buy things that are going to support that that cause. We spent a lot of time raising funds for large charities, and you hand over a big check and you don't actually see where the money goes. And we want to be socially and morally responsible and accountable in what we do. So it's run entirely by volunteers, and all of the money we raise, apart from a small number of running costs, is allocated directly to supporting people that need it. So that's how we do things. Obviously, we promote that through social media, and we try and get as many people involved in the Top Model family as possible. So we keep an eye on exactly what's happening all the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. How do you feel about social media?
Yeah, I enjoy social media. I think it has a lot of good. There's a lot of negatives, unfortunately, which we've covered on previous shows of Geoff Talk, with bullying and things like that, and scams. But in the whole, I think it's all for good, and it's a great way to promote the Top Model Foundation as well.
Yeah, sounds good. So how do you choose a particular area to donate to? So once you've got the donations from all the fundraisers, how do you choose where that goes? You must see so many sick children and children in need. So surely that's a really difficult decision to make.
Well, we actively look for potential outlets for charity funds and for charity support, and also we receive a lot of applications because we're registered with the Charities Commission. We're obviously on their list of charities, and so people approach us. What we try to avoid doing, or what should I say, we actively avoid doing, is just send people checks towards their running costs, and we have a lot of applications for that, and they're all very worthy causes, but for us, we want the money going directly to where it's going to make the biggest difference. So that obviously also impacts on who we can accept and who we can't. We're discussing a number of possible outlets at the moment. It'd be unfair of me to publicly discuss those because obviously they don't know about those discussions. But we've recently worked with a company in Edinburgh that has distributed 200 goodie bags packed with toys and games and colouring books across Scotland to children who are impacted with cancer and leukemia and who were isolated during the recent lockdown. So that's one example. We're currently talking to a chain of women's refuges where we're going to give goodie bags to give to any children that come in with the women that have to use that service, because often they have nothing. We're talking to a hospital trust about giving goodie bags to the children in the wards that they can actually keep. The big problem recently with giving items to hospitals is that if they're being used by different children, they have to be fully cleaned, disinfected, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But with our process, we actually want to give a goodie bag to the children that is there that they can keep and take away. Then you don't have the same risk of cross-contamination. So we're constantly looking at different things.
Yeah.
There's another organisation that's not a charity. We're potentially looking at paying for 50 children to go on a day out for respite care from their parents, and we'll hopefully send along top model staff as well to help with the day out, and
Yeah,
we'll
that sounds good.
physically pay for that rather than giving them a check to fund it, so we know exactly where every penny goes. And I think it's really important. People are so generous, but
Yeah.
I think people more and more want to know where their money is being spent, and with a lot of large corporate charities, you can't do that. So it's very, very important to me that we are accountable to our fundraisers, because they are the lifeblood of us being able to do the work we do.
Well, it sounds brilliant and very organised. How has the whole COVID-19 and lockdown affected the Top Model Foundation?
Uh, Unbelievably so, like so many other charities. I mean, thankfully we're a small charity, but also we have very, very minimal overheads. So we can just sit tight and not do much, to be honest, and just wait, weather the storm. A lot of charities are now asking for government funding, they're asking for support. To me, if an organisation is run well, it shouldn't necessarily need that. So for me, we haven't asked for any support. We don't get any government funding. It's just the fact that we've still been allocating potential revenue. The one I mentioned to you about across Scotland, the 200 goodie bags, we've done that during the COVID outbreak. So we are still putting the money to use, but obviously income has stopped, and we'll hope to restart that as soon as we possibly can.
Well, good for you for carrying on, because it has been hard for a lot of people. So with all of your knowledge and your experience, I'd love to hear one tip that you would perhaps give to someone who wanted to start their own organisation.
Be persistent, and believe in what you do, because it's so important that you have to have faith in what you do, and you're better off pursuing something that you believe in, and if it fails, you gave it your best shot. But if you don't pursue it because somebody tries to talk you out of it for whatever reason, that is the regret you'll have. You'll often regret the things you don't do rather than the things you've done and haven't worked out. So I always say, just believe in what you're doing. Take advice, of course. Be flexible. Be able to take on board guidance. But the reason you're starting it is because it's something that you believe in. And I think you have to believe strongly in that and pursue it. And make your bed every morning.
Yeah, good.
Make your bed every morning, because then you start off the day with something positive. And even if you have a bad day, you know you've achieved something. I know it's something crazily small, but I know in a lot of the armed forces, they teach new recruits that the first thing you do every day is make your bed.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant advice. Thank you. So give us one random fact, perhaps that's happened on your journey whilst creating this charity and going through the entire time, the lifespan of Top Model Foundation.
Well, we only launched it in 2019, so it's very new. I have a house currently full of boxes of toys and colouring books and teddy bears. And so I'm saying to the other trustees, we really need to start giving these to children, because otherwise I'm going to have to move out and my house will be just storage for the charity.
Well,
Apart from that,
like a dream.
obviously half of the time has been during lockdown, so it's been very difficult to really pursue the things we want to pursue.
Yeah, you just mentioned there the other trustees. So what do they do to help you with the foundation?
Well, I'm chairman of the board. There's four of us: Ebony van der Castile, Colin Chow, and Helen Fotheringham. They're all upstanding people, all professionals. We all volunteer, and it's just really we support each other. So we share the workload. I have administrative authority, so that means I just have a little bit more work to do. But apart from that, we all support each other, and we make collaborative decisions, and I think it works best that way. I think if we had a really big board of trustees, I think nothing would get done. But I think because we've got a small group of people that are very like-minded, we're very driven by the same thing, we have the same belief in the foundation,
Mhm.
and therefore we're all pushing in the same direction, which I think is so important.
Yeah, it's nice to have a team and be able to cheer everybody on. So great. So I'm going to leave it there because that was quite a nice little end to as a whole for the Top Model charity. But I'm not letting you go that easily because you have a tradition, don't you, on Geoff Talk?
Are you talking about? I can't believe I said that.
I can't
Our
believe I
weekly
said that.
competition. We've done some very serious programs, and so it's a really light-hearted, good way to finish those. So yes, we have been doing that.
So let's go for it. And I've got my whole list here because I don't know if you have them off by heart and you just reel them off, but I've got them written
Oh
down.
yeah, that's what I do.
So I'm
I
just going
reel
to
them
set
all
a
off from
timer.
memory. Okay.
All
Wow.
right.
Right,
Okay.
here goes.
Are you nervous? So the same rules
Yeah.
are going to apply. So I'll
Okay.
start the timer as I say, as you answer the question, basically.
Okay.
Let me start my timer. Okay. Okay, are you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, day or
So
night?
you're going to start the timer at the end of the first question, yes?
Yeah, I
Because you
did.
just said, I don't want to lose any of my time.
Okay,
And how long have I got?
you've got 40 seconds.
40 seconds,
Yeah.
just like. I
This is
can't believe I
the
said that.
same.
Okay,
I
here we
can't
go.
believe I just said that. 40 seconds
Yeah.
on the clock.
Okay,
Are you ready?
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Day or night?
Night,
Biggest addiction?
crisps,
Sun or snow?
sun,
Sweet or savory?
sweet,
If you could be an animal,
squirrel,
summer or winter?
winter,
Wine or spirit?
spirits,
If you had a superpower,
fly,
jeans or comfies?
comfies,
Gold or silver?
gold,
Socks or slippers?
socks,
Tea or coffee?
neither.
Who do you admire the most?
Oh, crikey,
Oh, you're
that's a
out.
horrible one.
That's a good one to end on, though. Who do you admire the
Wow.
most? You can get that one in.
Who do I admire the most? Kate Adie.
Okay.
There we go.
Brilliant. Okay, so that is all we have time for.
How did I score?
Oh yeah, do you want the score?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I'll have to
Okay.
count them.
That's okay. You count. I'll keep talking about the next episode, maybe of Geoff Talk, where we'll do.
You got 14.
14. I'm in the lead of my own competition. There we go. Tommy Ville was first, and he's not anymore.
You are just, you're getting on the top there. So well done, well done. Was that nerve-wracking?
Yes. I think when you said sun or snow, I said sun, and then I prefer winter. So I don't quite know how that works. I obviously like winter sun. So, but yeah. So
I see.
Thank you for being gentle with me.
That's okay. Well, Geoff, that is all the time we have for today. It's been an absolute pleasure grilling you, and I hope that it hasn't been too traumatic.
No, it's been great.
Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing with us, and thank you for making a difference to the world and creating many smiles, because it is very, very appreciated.
That's very, very kind of you and very generous. And of course, good luck to you with Ivy TV for Kids, your online TV program.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Pleasure.